Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. All right, so you just saw my lips rocking and rolling for a few minutes, so that should be good. Let me know if we're good now. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me go. Let me know. Let me know. All right, we're good. We're good. All right. All right. That was all right. Cool. That was fun. Yeah. So you. Yes, so that was me for a few minutes. Clearly, my apologies, peoples. All right, so like I was saying before, user error. Um, yes, so I was not able to watch wrestling, and I chose not to watch wrestling actually since I left Sportskeeda. Well, since no, I'm not going to say that. Since Sportskeeda's contract ended, I don't want to make it seem like I left Sportskeeda because I don't like Sportskeeda. Sportskeeda was great, um, but yeah, the contract was up, so it's not. I didn't quit Sportskeeda, or there wasn't anything crazy. I don't want anybody to take anything wrong for that. Very incredibly amicable. Very amicable when it comes to the departure from Sportskeeda. But it caused me to say, hey, you know what? I don't get paid to watch Raw, so I'm not going to watch Raw. So, uh, yeah, so I haven't, and I don't plan on. I didn't watch Saturday Night's Main Event. I didn't watch any of that stuff. I don't have the time to. As soon as I stop reviewing shows, therapy and college professoring got right into it. Like it immediately filled it up. Yesterday, I had my first therapy session at 9 a.m. Had my last one ended at 11 o'clock at night. So it was a long night, and then after that did curriculum work, did a video lecture. My workday started at 9 o'clock and ended at 1 in the morning. Today, sessions. Had night sessions as well today and day sessions. Then I did more curriculum work and then prepared for the show. So my work week already is crazy. So it just came right on in as far as just stuff to do. So my schedule is ridiculously busy, and so I don't have time to watch wrestling. And then if there's no reason for me to now, I don't get paid to watch it. So, but I do keep myself. I do keep myself on the pulse of pro wrestling, and staying up with the socials. And I actually did a video on Twitter and actually how to use Twitter, the psychological effects of Twitter, but actually the toxicity from Twitter. But Twitter is usually was originally meant to just keep abreast of pop culture, and that's what I use Twitter for. So I hop on Twitter a few times a day to see what's going on in culture, and my algorithms mostly is wrestling because of what I did. And what I do with PMP. Of course, PMP now is more psychology based. But I was like, you know what? I'll stay on the Twitter just to keep abreast of pro wrestling and see what's going, for the sake of my show. And then I saw, and there was an uproar of people sending a bunch of clips about Triple H on a recent interview. And he basically said that he puts more emphasis on stories than matches. And so I said, oh, okay. So I had something prepared, and this actually is much better as far as my schedule is concerned. My schedule was crazy going right into the show. I was doing college professor work right before the show. So this works. And so I saw clips. I didn't even hear any of the clips because I was like, you know what? let me save this for PNP. Let me go on this thing raw, and I haven't heard any of the interview. Like I based on my graphic design, I found somewhere in the video that I can get a screen grab for the sake of my thumbnail. But other than that, I haven't watched the interview. I haven't heard the interview. That's it. So I'm going to play the interview now, and we're going to go through it. All right. I'm going to psychoanalyze it as I do always. As my guy Ricky is saying over here, be sure to support, I'll say Dr. Chris, by buying a PNP t-shirt. So let's do this, man. Let's watch this thing. And let's see what we get. Let's see what we get with it. I'm not sure. I like the fact that it was only 26 minutes long. And I always say when people send me stuff, be sure to keep it around that range. I'm sure I'm going to be skipping stuff too. And they're already playing his music. Sure, WWE. I'm going to be sure WWE does not block them. So, all right, let's do this, man. Let's play this thing. Let's play this thing. All right, here we are. Ready? Just like always. Boom and boom and boom. And boom, boom, and all right, cool. So add this back there, and there we go. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, definitely can't play that because you know that they'll take that away. So let's see. Bring them on. There we go. That's video 2. Definitely don't want to play that either because you know they'll ping it. You know they will ping it. I don't know why they're not allowing me to skip this thing. All right, here we go.
Hasn't changed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WWE's Paul Levesque.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Welcome.
So the audience may not know this, but I'm a big professional wrestling fan going back to my childhood in Memphis, Tennessee. In Memphis, we didn't have any professional sports growing up. All we had was Memphis State Tigers basketball and professional wrestling at the Mid-South Coliseum on Monday nights. That was pretty much it. Jerry Lawler was so popular in Memphis that he could have been elected mayor, and I think he almost was. So it was really a wrestling town. But so growing up, I watched you and WWE, and I would say that Triple H was the premier heel champion, the unstoppable force of the whole Attitude Era. And it's a thrill to have you here. And since then, you've transitioned into being the chief creative officer at WWE and had a huge business career. So I think we want to talk to you about both those things. Maybe let's start with your career as a performer. And I don't know if people understand everything that goes into being a WWE superstar, but you've got to be, first of all, you've got to be a tremendous athlete. You're a stunt man because you're doing tremendously dangerous things. You have to be able to cut promos, which means you're basically an actor, but you also have to write your own dialogue. and you've got to be, you know, a charismatic star to all the fans. There's a lot that goes into it.
How many people are cut out for this type of work?
Well, it's a difficult thing. One of my tasks now in my job is finding that next generation of stars, right? So, you know, we have a robust program through college athletics, through an NIL program, through a lot of different avenues where we find talent. But the key to it really comes down to charisma and, you know, your innate ability to connect with people. It's one of the things about WWE that I think is remarkable is it is a kind of a combination of everything, right? The athleticism, the showmanship, the charisma that you have to have, the media skills that we teach from day one coming in the door, all of it. When you leave WWE, whether you've been there for a long time or, you know, if you've had any level of success, you are so well suited to do just about anything in life, because I
Ask you a question about exactly what you just said. And
Oh man, this is. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if I can hear me. Check 1, 2. Let's see what's going on. Yep, I hear me. Okay. Hear me. Y'all can't hear Triple H though? All right. Let's fix it then. All right, we're gonna fix it, y'all. Let's do this. Let's all right, let's do this. Boom. Boom. All right. I was trying to get rid of the ads. I was able to let me see. We're gonna get this together though. Plus, for some odd reason, I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to skip, and I definitely want to do that. Y'all let me know, PMP, where we. Let me know if y'all can hear. I know y'all can hear me because I just heard me on the phone. Let us. Let me see if y'all can hear this. Keep me posted on what y'all can hear or y'all can't hear. All right. Might have an ad here. I'm just trying to get rid of the ads, but unless, somebody said no, it's good. Okay. So y'all did. Okay, so the audio did come on. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. Well, we'll go get it together though. It's all good. Somebody said no audio, and then someone said audio's okay. All right. But no worries. We'll get it together. Come on. I'm trying to get this full screen here. You know, this is the reason why I absolutely cannot stand IT. I'm literally clicking on the thing now. Muted, then returned. Okay, got you. Okay. Couldn't hear Triple H. I can hear you. Okay, got you. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. And then let me know if you could hear Triple H as well. All right. Let me know if you can hear Triple H here. I just brought up the YouTube clip. And let me know if y'all can hear this.
Leave WWE, whether you've been there for a long time or, you know, if you've had any level of success, you are so well suited to do just about anything in life. Because I truly feel like for a lot of people, sometimes can be a lot less about all the things you know and how good you are at them as the charisma to get people to listen to you. And then if you put the right people around you, you can have all the things that you need, but people will follow that leadership, right? So even when it comes to politics, it's amazing to me when I walk through the White House, over the last few months, I've been there quite a few times, how many people in the White House are huge fans of WWE.
I mentioned this to you backstage, but similar to David, I had growing up in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
There wasn't any professional sports. Ultimately, we got the NHL.
That didn't get as big a pop as Memphis.
Memphis did, yeah.
Yeah.
And my father and I, one of the few things that we were able to bond over was wrestling. And then your whole progression where you started off as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, which is really what David is like now. And then he became more of more of the Triple H heel. But I wanted to ask you a question about exactly what you just said. And I want you to sort of walk us through the characteristics of these two individuals who have had a very vibrant career in wrestling. Donald Trump, who's now in politics, and The Rock, who people say may actually go into politics later. And what you just said is it's an incredible breeding ground for charisma and connecting with people.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go back through history, even in politics, and nobody in today's world, there's very few all the way good, all the way bad.
Right, and actually that sort of
planet.
So in wrestling, there's basically heels and baby faces or faces.
Or some variation, right? Nobody in today's world, there's very few all the way good, all the way bad.
Right, and actually that sort of started to change in the Attitude Era. I remember in the 80s when I was growing up, Hulk Hogan was like this superhero type, baby face. And I weirdly always just rooted for the heels. And then Stone Cold.
They're more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin came along, and he kind of was a heel, but all of a sudden everyone's like rooting for him. Like, what happened there?
Oh, man.
And like, did something change?
Pause. Oh man. Okay, so first of all, but I wish I had Joey over here, man. I created that clip a long time ago, but I put it on Sports I put it on Sports page. I gotta bring Joey back, man. That was definitely a Joey moment. Oh, I don't even know where I don't even know. I put that clip on there so long ago that I have no idea where that clip is right now. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find it another time. But I gotta bring that was definitely that was without a doubt a Joey moment. Without a doubt, a Joey moment. All right. So, first of all, Triple H, this is the guy who's in creative. All right. So, I'm saying this from a standpoint of a traditional. Pro wrestling is about traditional. We're not supposed to believe that it's not scripted or choreographed or like we're not supposed to know any of this stuff. I mean, the Unreal series just really took us away from that. But I understand, like, this is the guy behind creative, and he's telling the people in the interview that it's a shades of gray. And I get it. You know, there was shades of gray in the Attitude Era. I understand. But at the end of the day, you were still booking for the face heel dynamic. Period, man. Period. You have the ability. Take it from someone who has a PhD in psychology. You have the ability to still bring that element of someone being cheered and someone being booed. Iron Man, for instance, was a cocky babyface. Steve Austin was an anti-hero babyface. This philosophy has been going on for a long time. The girls loved them some Ric Flair in the 80s. Kissing the girls and make them cry. Yes, he had his girls, he had his ladies who cheered him. But the resounding people, the resounding audience booed Ric Flair because he was a heel. Period. Austin was an anti-hero babyface, but he was booked to be cheered. It doesn't matter. There's not a clear cut. There's not a monolith or there's not a monolith of a babyface and a heel. But at the same time, there's still baby faces and heels. There's many different shades of baby faces and heels. Triple H is right. Yes, it's not all good or all bad. We've known that. We've known that for decades now. We knew that with Austin. We knew that with Flair. Like, we knew that Bockwinkel. Like, there were people who cheered them, the Horsemen. But at the same time, despite what the fans said and despite how the fans cheered, still they knew to work on to build their character so much. So much that they knew that I don't care who cheers you, you're going to do your job, and your job is to elicit the most hateful, visceral reactions from the fans. Yes, you might have your pack, your area of ladies or your blotches of ladies throughout the crowd cheering you, but that's the minority, not the majority. And it's possible. MJF has done a great job still staying in characters and getting jeered. he has the ability to say, you know what? Regardless of how many people cheer me, I'm still going to get heat. I'm going to have a smugness to me that oozes hatred from you. Logan Paul, that still exists in Logan Paul. The guy is a heel through and through. He's a natural born heel, and he's doing a fantastic job with staying in character. Babe, heels should not try to elicit jeers from the crowd. I've said this for years. I've said it for years. What are we watching, y'all? If the Joker's trying to get adulation and cheers from the fans, what are we watching? If Two-Face is trying to go to the citizens of the city and say, hey, you like me? Cheer me. What have we came to if this is where we're at? And for you to stop the person and tell him, well, it's not all good. Well, we know that. We've been know that. That's been the situation. That's been the element. That's been going on for 50 years now. At least 40 of them. And so 40 plus years, we understand that part. But that doesn't justify you having to cater to the fans. The fans are not the extra person in the creative room. And I've said this before on my shows. Interestingly enough, they're supposed to be the audience, but at the same time, they've become the character. In a theater play, you have the Joker, and the Joker didn't want to get cheered. But the funny thing about the Joker wanting to get cheered is that was a part of his character. That was a part of his character. He was villainous. He was villainous. He was so narcissistic in nature that he felt that you should be cheering me. And if a person and if a character is good enough, they're going to have that smugness. Damien Sandow, for instance, very, very smug, very aristocratic. Same thing with Alberto Del Rio. You have characters who feel as if Kurt Angle's another one. When he came with the three eyes, he was getting jeered. He was like, "What are you guys jeering me for? I'm an Olympic gold medalist with a broken freaking neck. Like I'm an Olympic hero. What are you jeering for? You shouldn't be jeering me." But that's the part of his character. That's what made him so cool. That's what made the characters so infectious, because they had this smugness and this cockiness to them, as if you should be cheering me. You don't just sit there and say, you know what, it's not all good or all bad. It's never been all good or all bad. Hulk Hogan was a prototype for a comic book. Pro wrestling is comic books come to life. Not everybody liked Hulk Hogan back in the day. Most people did. Why? Because he was a good babyface. And because he was a good babyface, and because he was that prototypical character that everybody loved, it made his heel turn so much better, because the pendulum effect. It's a psychological concept there. The pendulum effect. It went from all good, and the more he built himself as a good guy, training, saying your prayers, eating your vitamins, believing yourself. Everybody loves Hulk Hogan, or most people loved Hulk Hogan. Of course, there's always going to be that pocket of people who was different, just like the person said on here, I like the heels. That's the exception, not the rule. But for the most part, people were Hogan fans, cheered all over the world, cheered everywhere he was at, cheered in every arena that he was at, and because of that, because of those cheers, it made that heel turn so much better. The reason why people can't turn heel the way that they did back in the day is because they're not building them up to be strong baby faces. I saw a clip of Logan Paul siding with CM Punk, and I was like, come on, man. Who thought, raise your hand if you thought that Logan Paul was actually going to turn face. And if you have your hand up, you're a fool, because there's no way that Logan Paul was going to turn babyface. And when Seth turned heel, and then when Malachi Black turned heel, or Aleister Black turned heel, like these turns aren't meaning anything because there's no payoff, and the person isn't built strong enough to make a turn relevant. Nobody is here in the WWE at this point. Maybe Roman Reigns, because he was a really good heel, and his babyface turn meant something. I talked about that before, as far as the Burchell effect, the emotion in relation effect, and I talked about that within the Dominic Mysterio video. And so that is the reason why characters mattered, because characters were built so strongly. You can't sit there and say and say, one, not everybody's good, all good and all bad, and then two, heels are better. You're not supposed to say that. We're supposed to still believe that bad guys exist in the area of pro wrestling, and the good guys are there to save the day. What happened to kayfabe, man? What happened? I think the more you sit there and try to kill kayfabe, the more you're killing the business, man. Because if you're allowing the inmates to run the asylum, you're getting a product that people are going away from en masse, because you still have the same strategy of, let's just see where we're at. Everything's a shade of gray. Everything. Now, there are shades of gray, but at the same time, there's still the shade of gray babyface and the shade of gray heel. But you're not going to sit here and have a heel. At least you shouldn't. You've done way too much of that lately. Man, I used to always say this. I couldn't stand when Adam Cole was a heel. I thought that Adam Cole was the worst heel of all time. Seems like a likable guy. I know wrestlers. I'm very close with wrestlers who know him and speak very highly of him. I bet you he's a cool dude. But I'm talking about the character of Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole sucked as a heel. Why? Because he elicited cheers every time he came out. He did the Adam Cole baby. He did the boom. He seemed cool. Like that, to me, that's a Shawn Michaels style baby face. Cocky, arrogant, smug, but at the same time, he's a baby face, and he's like, you know what? I might be who I am, but I still don't like the bad guys. Again, Q Iron Man. He was arrogant, smug, but he still fought to rid of the bad guys. And at the end of the day, what are you doing, man? What is all these NILs, these IDs, all of this stuff? Essentially, what we're doing is we're building this talent to make them devoid of characters that matter, of emphasizing baby faces and heels. And that's the reason why Seth Rollins still has the same music when he's a heel, and the fans are cheering because of that same philosophy. Well, not everybody. Well, it's not everybody's all good or all bad. Like, what? This is wrestling, man. You can make that. You can create that. This is the cool thing about pro wrestling. It's a blank canvas. It's a creative blank canvas that you can do whatever the heck you want with it. Do it. Create it. It's a blank canvas. And guess what? People will buy into it. People will buy into it. You set the stage. You set the tone. You don't just sit here and oscillate between what the fans want. Man, screw that. The fans are never stable enough to know what they want. They're fickle. Daniel Bryan was right. Now, Bryan Danielson, this is his real name, but Daniel Bryan in the WWE is right. Fickle. They're fickle. It's true. Never know. Like, this time you want this. Well, we love the Yeet movement. Oh, now Jay's horrible. We want LA Knight. Oh, LA Knight. Oh, he's trash. Oh, well, no, we want LA Knight. Oh, LA Knight's done. Huh? And that right there, pro wrestling fans in a nutshell. At least the audience that's your focus group right now. And so if you keep having this all good, all bad, nobody's good, nobody's bad. Again, you create that. This is your blank canvas. This is your playbook. Do something about that. And if we bring wrestling back to the comic book come to life feel, I'm telling you, it will cause less scrutiny because the emphasis is on the characters. But as far as I remember seeing from the socials, the emphasis is more on the characters, according to Triple H. Let's find out if that is true.
Change in American society, or did the product get more sophisticated?
I think people became more savvy to how the world really works. Nobody's perfect. And I don't think there's anybody that is, well, I shouldn't say anybody. There's certainly people that are just evil in the world, but most people, the average person, there are people that are really good, but somewhere in there's some stuff that maybe isn't, and vice versa on that. I think I have a saying in what I do right now: as long as the bad guy, the heel, is justified somewhere in his mind that what he is doing is right, that leads to the best heel, right? Because if 90% of the world disagrees with you, but you believe, no, you're all wrong, I see this and it is right, you can run down that road. You're not just trying to be the curl your mustache bad guy heel tying people to the railroad tracks. It's real. You feel it, and it's real, and it's why you want to get to that place, right or wrong for most people. So the shades of gray, I don't know that we necessarily lead society, WWE. I wouldn't want to think that, but I think we reflect it.
Well, you did a very good.
Okay. Man. Triple H is good at what he does, man, when it comes to saying, being political and saying the things that appeases this panel, who I doubt watch a lick of wrestling. So, and I agree with Triple H when it comes to again, not every heel has to be the same. You still have that railroad tracks heel, because guess what? That railroad track heel is going to be the one that's going to get people out of their reality. The whole point of professional wrestling, y'all, is supposed to suspend disbelief. We're not supposed to think that this is real. The moves are choreographed. Dude, I am look, personally, I have a whole wife and 3 kids, okay? I don't have interest in just looking at a grown man in underwear, okay? Listen, me personally, I don't have interest in just looking at a grown man in underwear oiling up with another grown man in underwear. That's not my deal, okay? Not my deal. But somehow we're supposed to make sense out of why this is acceptable, because they're superheroes and they're supervillains. Because guess what? Superheroes and supervillains wear tights. That's what they do. They wear costumes. This is a part of their costume as a superhero and supervillain. Are you going to have people wear pants from now on and slacks to the ring when they do matches? Are we making it real? No, this is superheroes and supervillains wearing costumes. I don't care about a grown man wearing underwear. I want to see the superhero in the costume defeating the supervillain. That is pro wrestling. That is supposed to suspend my disbelief. So I'm really into the characters. And when you're bringing this reality base into it, I get it, man. I get it. Bringing in that type of pool that people can connect to. I understand. I get that concept. I get why he would say that based on where we are in society. However, that still does not have to make society the arbiter of pro wrestling creativity. Still doesn't have to happen that way. Characters still matter. I agree with Triple H when it comes to there should be the heel that thinks that what I'm doing right, you all may think it's wrong, but I think it's right. I'm justifying what I think is right. I agree with that. I think that makes a good heel as well. That is confirmation bias. And if someone is unlikable if they spend most of their time arrogant, narcissistic, they can't do, they're know-it-alls, they have a ton of confirmation bias, they have cognitive dissonance because they sit there and justify any type of thought patterns or paradigms they have. They sit there and justify it by what they do or what they say. Yep, absolutely. There's psychological, there's cool elements of psychology when it comes to that element. I agree with Triple H there. However, that doesn't have to be the whole scope of pro wrestling, first of all. And two, if the characters aren't strong enough, I don't care about the character, because there's nothing about the character that's pulling me enough for me to be locked into the brand of this character. Characters are brands. I don't care about Clark Kent. I don't care about Bruce Banner. I care about Spider-Man. I care about Batman. I care about Superman. Like, I'm telling you, man, this is the type of stuff that has caused wrestling to shrink when it comes to support. Because even adults, and I've talked about that when it comes to the Jungian archetypes, as far as the collective unconscious, and I've talked about all that. There's still that element of child. There's still that inner child that people still have. When they get giddy about something, when they get very happy about getting a new car. It used to be a toy, now it's a new car. That's that inner child that you have in you that gets giddy and excited about things. It's like a sense of disinhibition, in a sense, not from a negative standpoint, but look, I'm going to take down, any of my inhibitions and being able to rationalize this moment and this thought. I'm going to be excited. I'm just going to get real giddy. I'm going to get real pumped and cheer when Ohio State wins the national championship and jump up and down and give dap and hugs to people. That's that inner child that we have, that's celebratory, that goes back into that form of glee and excitement. Pull that out of people, man. Pro wrestling is a great avenue to pull that out of people. But if you're like, hey, guess what, guys? We're going to link this up to reality and make everything shade of gray. No, you're pulling the plug. You're sucking the life out of the core and the nucleus of pro wrestling. Especially with all this shades of gray, not everybody's all good or all bad. Again, that's what makes wrestling so cool is that again, this is your playbook. This is your canvas. Because nobody's all good or all bad. That's what made pro wrestling so other. That's what made pro wrestling so distinct. Because you did have someone who was a superhero. You did have someone who was a supervillain. That's the reason why cartoons are so infectious. That's the reason why comic books are so infectious. Because Superman still exists as far as being legendary. And Batman and Spider-Man, they still exist because they're superheroes. And now they have the Black Spider-Man and like there's still that concept. That concept will never go away. From the Garden of Eden, that will never go away as far as having a hero and a villain. That is a tried and true, foolproof philosophy when it comes to the battle of good versus evil. Never said that the battle of good versus evil has to be people on this side who are all good and people on this side who are all bad. That never was the philosophy. But at the same time, Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, look, my mission is to save Gotham City. Like that's what my mission is. You don't have to know so much about my personal life. You know that this is who I was, and I turn into Batman. I put on my suit. I work out as a news reporter, and then all of a sudden I put on my suit. That's the coolness of superheroes. They become mere man. They start with being just mere man, and they become superheroes. That taps into a part of our psyche that we long for, that we envision. It creates a fantasy because it's not reality if someone's all good or all bad. That's not reality. However, that is fantasy. And pro wrestling has the ability to tap into that fantasy part of our minds and say, man, that's a prototype of someone who's all good. Man, go get them. Go protect Gotham City, Batman. Like that's the cool part of pro wrestling. If we saw so much of Batman without being Batman as just everyday, person, everyday layman, if we see a oscillation between the two and we see Batman looking more like the human version of himself, that takes away Batman. That takes away the essence of Batman. That is absolutely ridiculous. You take away the essence of Batman. And I think when you have all these people oscillating back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, you miss it. You miss it. You absolutely miss it. I don't care about Bruce Wayne. I care about when Bruce Wayne became Batman. That's what I care about. But if I keep seeing, oh, here's Batman. Okay, now this scene's Bruce Wayne. Okay, now this scene's Batman. okay, now I want to be sure that Batman is looking and mirroring a lot of what Bruce Wayne does. No, I don't want to see that. I want to see Bruce Wayne and I want to see Batman, period. And the problem is we're getting Bruce Wayne, we're getting Batman, we're merging the two together, and we're handing it to you on a platter and say, like it. We'll just give you a bunch of action so you can be distracted from the fact that we're merging Bruce Wayne and Batman together. All right, let's see here. We'll talk.
Good job. In the 80s and 90s, where you would take the geopolitics, I don't know if this was by design, and you take a character and you'd say, well, we need to talk about the Middle East somehow, so okay, we have the Iron Sheik, right? And you'd create these characters that would reflect
Sheiky baby.
the geopolitical tension of the time. Did you find that was harder to do in this generation, or is it harder to do now just because there's still so many potholes? Or
Absolutely. I just think that if you stereotype somebody into a particular place, a lot of the world would rebel against that.
Yeah.
Right? Not in a positive way. And maybe sometimes people that have no real reason to have a position on either side of that, right? The one thing about WWE is we're a fun reflection of the world. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be fantastical. It's supposed to let you come to an event for 3 hours and just turn off and enjoy.
So when you come to a circus and you see the rubber man and you see the bearded lady, and you see all these characters, does the circus people care about your life, your real life, and wanting it to look like your real life in society? No, that's not what Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, that's not what they're doing. They're creating a show for people to come in and be awed by and want more and tell others about it. Not we want you to just stay your cares and keep your cares on the outside of the tent, and we want you to have a great time, but we want to look like you, though. That's the point. That's what makes entertainment distinguished. We don't look like you. And that's why movies are cool. That's why entertainment is cool. That's why absolutely that's why plays are cool, because it's distinguished. It's different, man. It's separate. It's other. It's not we'll look like the fans who are coming in here and wanting entertainment. We want to look a lot like y'all. That's what's causing the issues with this stuff. Pro wrestling fans want to be, they want to be included to a fault nowadays, but they also want fantasy. They want fantasy. That's where entertainment comes in. We're tapping into fantasy. If you look like me, why am I paying to see you? I don't want you to look like me. I want you to look like some prototype that I'm here and getting entertained by and tapping into my fantasy psyche. Not, oh yeah, what you're getting in this entertainment is reflection of the world. This interview is showing me the philosophy of WWE now and how much it is so far away from the days of Vince McMahon. And that's actually surprising from Triple H, because he was under the tutelage of Vince McMahon, and he should understand.
Sometimes.
So then, can you contrast and compare then maybe WWE? And for a long time, I had a really hard time because of my fascination with wrestling, migrating to MMA. But MMA has really taken over a lot of the zeitgeist, especially amongst younger generations of men. Do you feel pressure to make it more physical or more like it? Or how do you think these two things play? And what role do they play, I guess, maybe in American society?
I think they're total opposites. Like MMA is just, it's competitive, it's competition, that's what it's based on. Though best when, and you can look at that world, and I don't want to get too deep into their world, but you have a Conor McGregor come along. If Conor McGregor came out of retirement tomorrow and said he's fighting in 4 months, it would be massive, right? The amount of people that would gravitate towards that, the ticket sales, the viewership would be intense. When's the last time he fought? And when is the last time he won?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I couldn't even tell you.
It's forever. What people are buying is that cult of personality. Right? It's the same in our business. We tell stories. I'm less, and people within our business sometimes take this wrong, but we don't write the shows based on that'll be a great match. We write it on the stories that we can create, the protagonist, the antagonist.
All right. Well, that's the line right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the line. And again, here's the thing. In theory, I get it, man. Triple H is right. He's right. That's how wrestling should be. It should be the protagonist, the antagonist. That's what I just said. And it seemed like he contradicted himself as far as like the shades of gray. No, there should be a protagonist and an antagonist. That's how characters are made. That's how people buy into the product, period. And listen, man, I only amateur wrestled. I did freestyle wrestling, and I trained for MMA, never went pro. As far as being in the ring, look, I am completely, that is outside of my scope of practice. But training enough in sports and in MMA and in wrestling, I used to wrestle, I used to mat wrestle, train a bunch when it comes to wrestling. I understand the athleticism of wrestling and mixed martial arts. Here's the thing. I get that the athleticism is something I respect the heck out of every single pro wrestler who has to bust their butt and risk injury every single day that they're in the ring. But the problem is we're getting more of that because wrestlers are emphasizing so much of what's in the ring. Man, Andre the Giant, yes, he was banged up. He was dealing with his ailments and his condition. But at the same time, it's like, man, a lot of those wrestlers was able to go 30 years. I mean, Lawler, he just mentioned Jerry Lawler. Dude was in his 70s wrestling. And he was putting on some good matches too, because he understood how much characters matter. And he had a mean working punch. And he knew how to make someone look like they were dead by executing a pile driver. He was good at what he did, man. And he wasn't focusing on flips and kicks so much and taking bumps. It was promos in Memphis. Promos leading me to that match. And the fans were going crazy. I remember back in the day, characters mattered so much that people would hold each other's head to get that punch, and they would work. They would work the crowd by holding their hand up, their fist up, and having that. Well, you want me to punch up? Here we go. That got a bigger pop than most of the wrestling matches that we see right now. Why? Because the emphasis is so much on the matches. Man, I wish that Triple H I wish that he practiced what he preached. I wish that his philosophy, and I know that he has it in him because I just said that he came from the tutelage of Vince McMahon. Triple H is the one who watched the tapes. Triple H is the one who understood the game, the cerebral assassin. Like, he gets it when it comes to characters. But why aren't we seeing that right now? We're not, man. We're not seeing it. We're seeing the same type of 50-50 bland character. And if you do have a strong character, that character is the person who goes 50-50 or who loses and is not built strong. Cue Drew McIntyre, cue Aleister Black. We're not seeing strong pushes with them. We're not seeing strong character building with them. And again, man, I like his philosophy. I respect his philosophy. I agree with his philosophy. But do we see his philosophy on an episode of Raw? No, we do not. And trust me when I say I got paid for over 5 years to talk about Raw, and I watched every single episode forever. I mean, I watched Raw since it's been on, since 1993. I've watched every episode, or I'm aware of every single episode. Now I haven't watched it as much. Well, I haven't watched it at all the past few weeks, but I'm still understanding. I still knew that CM Punk beat Jey Uso. I still knew that Logan Paul came and hit CM Punk. I still know those things. But it's like, man, pro wrestling isn't must see anymore. It isn't must see. It's exhilarating with the current crowd, but as far as must see for people to come in, no. I agree with what he's saying as far as the emphasis of what pro wrestling should be, but at the same time, tell it to the casual fans that left a long time ago. Tell this to the people who are on the cusp of leaving and sees the same thing over and over again, who end up leaving and just dropping like flies. Tell this to them.
How does that work with each other? Telling stories that can resonate with people that maybe they've experienced in their real life, some type of fantastical version of that.
So is there a writer's room?
There is a writer's room. We have a large staff
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's a show right now on Netflix called Unreal, and it is for the first time ever a look behind the scenes at what we do. We let cameras into the writer's room. We let them backstage at our shows, so you see the production of the shows. You see what goes into it. You know, there's months of planning that go into stuff. We're looking now at WrestleMania in Vegas in April and what those matches are going to be and how we want to get there. What is the storyline arc that takes us there over time? I would say we're
Storyline arc. Again, y'all tell me, what storyline arc have we got over the past 3 years in this Triple H era that's worth really saying, man, this was amazing? I'll give you Rock. I'll give you finishing the story part 2. I'll give you that. I stand by this. I like the bloodline. The beginning of the bloodline angle, like the Jay by himself because Jimmy's hurt, and then Jay, is with Roman. Roman does the heel turn, goes on the spree of dominance, and then I liked that, and then that culminated with The Rock coming in. I think Rock era from like January to April of last year, those 3 months, money. Absolute gold. The Mama Rhodes, the belt with the name on it with the blood, gold. Absolute gold. I mean, put that in a box and in a package and sell it, man. You'd be a millionaire. I think stuff like that, when you really sink your teeth into it and when you really put some grit into it and when you put some oomph into it, you can do it. And I've said this so many times, you got so many productions, you got so much product going on right now that you really don't have time to sink your teeth in stories like that. I can't think of any story that has been built at least since then, and even way before then too, because the bloodline ended up going way over time, and that just went way off the rails. And there wasn't even really a culmination to that as far as the OG bloodline story. There still hasn't been a culmination. The OG bloodline story was Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That's how it all started. And you had a match between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, but Roman Reigns won. So that could have been a culmination. It wasn't, though. There has been none. There's been no culmination to the actual bloodline storyline. It doesn't seem like there ever will be. So what story are we talking about here? Minus Rock, but he had to come from the outside to basically inject life, use the shockers and shock and resuscitate WWE back to life when it comes to interest. He had to do that almost 2 years ago now. And so, I don't see it. I haven't seen it. And this is someone who watched Raw on a weekly basis for 40 years at this point. All right, for the sake of time, this is a good interview, though. I appreciate Triple H sharing his thoughts. Why are they opposites? Okay, WWE is USC. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else. Physicality of WWE. Business of the WWE. I mean, the physicality, man, like I said, absolute respect for every single person that helps. How they did it forced. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay. How the internet's forced. All right, let's see. Wrestlers to blend.
This challenge. Now, Paul, let me ask you. So you had a blueprint in your mind. I remember, I've seen you interviewed before, and when you were coming up in the business, you were learning from guys like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, and you were a student of the game, and then you incorporate that into your character. Your character was called the game. It then hit another level. So you clearly, you were leading the development of that character, and I think got over to another level when somehow the character and yourself, somehow you hit some sort of synergy. Joined. I guess, what does that do in terms of the creative friction that you deal with now running the talent? Because they have their own blueprints in their mind about where they want to go with their career, but you, as running the overall creative, have a direction where they want to go. How much friction does that create?
It doesn't create friction, it creates a partnership, which is what I love. One of the favorite parts of my job is to sit down in a room with talent and say, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go with you? How do we want to get there? It's not the conversation of, well, I want to be the champion. Like, yeah, okay, everybody does. What is your story and how do we tell it? And who here of these other talent can have a story that goes against your arc to combine with their arc to tell a great story, right? Once we start to riff those things, today's world is different. You go back, 40, 50 years, Ivan Koloff was a Canadian guy that played a Russian because we were in the middle of a Cold War and it was the easy thing to do, but you couldn't do that character now because the internet would go like, he's from Canada, right? It doesn't work. They know the truth. So today you have to sort of blend who you are, real life, with the character that you play and sort of blur this line of the fourth wall of, was that real? Or do these guys really not like each other? Or is that?
No. You don't have to do that. Says who? Says who? Listen, you got to understand the audience that you're talking about now. You're not talking about casual fans. And if you're talking about casual fans don't care if you're from Canada or not. Casual fans don't care if you're from Canada. You're talking about the IWC. And the IWC is going to IWC. And I say that all the time. There were dirt sheets 30 years ago. And there were forums. There were forums 30 years ago talking about this stuff. There were forums 30 years ago talking about this stuff, trying to crack the code on who this person is and what this person does. And there have been people trying to crack codes for 30 years in the pro wrestling business, but they're not the majority. They're not the people who you should cater to. You should cater to the audience who want to be entertained. You shouldn't cater to the audience who cares about if a person's from Canada or not. I don't care if he's from Canada. I don't care if Ivan Koloff's from Canada or not. El Grande Americano is over. Why? Because he is a Kaiser, I think, is German. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's German. He's a German person in a Mexican mask, fighting on American soil. That's what makes him. Yeah, he's German. He's German, who is in a Mexican mask. Who in the heck is saying? First of all, you've got Kaiser. People know it's Ludwig Kaiser, but he's still over because he's in character. You don't have people saying we're going to crap all over this character because, one, we know it's Ludwig Kaiser, and two, the dude's German. He's German with a Mexican mask on. Come on, man. That's not working. No, it's working. Why? Because it's fantasy. Because it's not blending in the German Ludwig Kaiser. He's Mexican. And in his world, in the world of professional wrestling, he's a character. He's a Mexican wrestler with a Mexican mask, and he's from Mexico. And that's what makes it so cool. That's what makes it so cool. And that's the reason why it's over. That's when Chad Gable was El Grande Americano. They knew it was Chad Gable. The whole point was it's not Chad Gable, but you knew it was Chad Gable. You didn't have an audience on the internet saying, "Oh, we're not going. Oh, that gimmick doesn't work. We know it's Chad Gable under that mask. We're gonna boo the heck out of that gimmick." No, the fans cheered. Why? Because it was a character. We knew who it was, but it worked. We know who Ludwig Kaiser is, but it works because there's no blending in. There's no, well, let's blend in the German Ludwig Kaiser because people know he's German. No, no. It doesn't have to be that way. And because that philosophy is what we see now, is the reason why people aren't connected. They're not connected because it's seeming too real. You have characters now who's in this episodic television show who's trying to be like the audience and trying to be like real life. It's like watching a soap opera every single week, and the soap opera is trying to blend in with real life. No, they're creating situations that ebb and flow and controversy and drama. That's the reason why people pay attention to drama shows, to soap operas, not because they're blending in reality. No, man. It's like, I think that I think that Triple H and WWE has gotten too political with trying to blend in reality that you're missing it, man. And this is someone, this is the audience that you're reaching. This is the audience that you're speaking to. This is the person who's been a fan for 40 years as in the WWE as a pro wrestling fan. And this isn't a person who's just sitting there trolling like the IWC and just want to just go back and forth with just some, oh, I love this match. Oh, this match was okay. Oh, I love this match. Oh, this match cooked. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, holy crap. Oh my gosh, what a Canadian destroyer. That's the audience that you're paying attention to now. And that's the audience that is not only in the IWC, but it's in the seats of the arenas that you book at. And guess what? With these ticket prices, you ain't having father and son there anymore. You're having either high-end people who want to be a part of just some golf good old boys frat club, a corporate frat club that's hogging the seats, or you're having people who are getting in debt and basically sacrificing their left gonad to be sure to have this is awesome moment. That's who we're, I mean, that's our market. That's the audience. That's who we're reaching at this point. That's what we're dealing with. And the whole reality stuff, and come on, man. El Grande Americano is the character, not anybody who's in it. You literally had Chad Gable as El Grande Americano because the character was so strong. You had someone who's taller and leaner replace him, and it just went right on. It just went right on. It wasn't like, oh man, nah, that dude's an Olympian and he was a lot shorter. And now, no, that dude's, isn't that the German guy? No, I don't think that's going to, no. But this philosophy is reality. No, man. Nope. This interview was very interesting. I found this interview very interesting. To me, it just seems as if Triple H, and I've said this before, man, and I've been to post-show pressers and all that jazz. I've been there. I've seen it. I've been right near Triple H as he's answering questions, and he knows how to do that. He's political, man. He knows how to say the right things in front of the right people and to the right people. He knows how to say it. He knows how to do. He's been doing it for a long time. He knows how to do it. He's a pro at it. But at the same time, it doesn't make it make sense. It doesn't justify the rationale behind the just bonkers logic that came from him explaining pro wrestling. This audience, this crowd, these people in the live audience and this panel, these aren't people who watch wrestling every week. They're not. They're people on the outside. So why in the world, if I was an outsider in that audience, don't watch wrestling, I'm here because I know these people. I'm aware of the summit, and I know that Triple H's mother-in-law is in the cabinet right now, so he's in the White House a lot because his mother-in-law is a cabinet member. And so it makes sense. So when it comes to politics and him being invited and stuff like that, and him saying he's in the White House all the time, yeah, I mean, he has family that's in the cabinet. So that makes sense. So these people aren't like avid wrestling fans that's in their demographic, then that's in their typical audience every week. These are professionals. These are executives. These are politicians. These are people who want to hear you pitch your product. They want to have a better understanding of what your product is. And you're telling me, if I was one of those people on the outside trying to figure out who this WWE thing is, what this WWE thing is, one thing I know is that it's not like UFC. It's complete opposite is what he mentioned. And if I liked UFC and I know that WWE is different, it's about branding, it's about characters. I'm going to say, okay, maybe my son will like this. And then when it comes to the reality piece, that takes my son away because my son wants characters. So who is your audience? The people that we see every single week on WWE wrestling saying, that's what we see. That's who the audience is, ladies and gentlemen. That was fun, though. Kudos to Triple H for the interview. Appreciate you, Triple H, for giving me some content there, man. So definitely appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick, man. We're rolling overtime, and I was cutting promos with that interview, and it was good. So I am going to see if I can get a few, and then let's hit up the after party. Let's see here. Again, apologies for my mic being muted in the beginning. People wrestling are still right for any websites or any wrestling news outlets. No, man. Nah. I have had some people reach out and if I write for another wrestling news site, man, the money better be real good. I mean, real good. Because I just don't, it's not in me anymore, man. I just don't. Pro wrestling is just not it. I mean, it hasn't been it for a long time. I've told my family this, man, but I mean, for a long time, like probably 10 years around there. But yeah, it's just not clicking. I've outgrown. I'm a grown man with 3 kids, and one of them is a teenager at this point. I think, when it comes to pro wrestling, man, it's like, I got some adult college students to teach and assist them to becoming doctors. I ain't got time to yeeting. Yeah, I ain't got time for all that on a weekly basis. Now, again, shout out, this is the homage to my great grandma. So I'll still stay abreast. PMP is still going to be every week, and it's good for me to understand, like, still stay abreast of the product to comment on it. But you're not going to get in-depth comments from me, bub. Nope, because I don't watch anymore. If I get paid to watch Raw or SmackDown, maybe. I've actually been offered to do SmackDown before, but I've declined because Fridays, no, man. Fridays definitely ain't it for me. Nah, it ain't it. Danimal, happy Tuesday. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you, man. I'm about an 85%. Last week I was about a 53%. This week I'm about an 85%. Don't have the crazy sinus headache. Body feels fine. My body feels great. It feels fine. Just a little throat mess that's causing me to cough occasionally, but other than that, yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. If I had a choice, who would see this final point? Maybe we don't know. It's Gunther. Want to be Gunther, but should it be Jericho Edge? Maybe be loud. Personally, it would be Angle, but he's done. I mean, again, that's something I don't care. I mean, this whole last time is now tournament is weird to me. It's like we got people clamoring to be John Cena's last opponent. John Cena deserves that type of showcase, yes, but at the same time, if this person beats John Cena on his way out, I'm not confident in WWE enough that they're going to run with that and they're going to use it and really catapult somebody. And if John Cena beats that person, you did all that just to say, hey, I was John Cena's last opponent and he beat me. I mean, okay. What does that mean? Especially if there's no story behind it, man. I mean, again, yeah. All right, let's see, man. Let's see here. Anything? I got some newbies. John is in the building. I haven't seen you interact before on a weekly basis, so thank you for joining us and interacting. Every time here on PNP, we give newbies the love. Nabil is a newbie. Thank you for joining. I always give newbies some love. Jen is the newbie. Thank you. Appreciate all the love, y'all. Very, very much. Got some newbies in the building. Oracular newbie. Give all those people some love, PNP Nation. That's what we do here, man. We give 79X newbie. Got a lot of newbies tonight, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all very, very much, man. Isn't Kaiser being a luchador? Yeah, I mean, he's being a Mexican luchador. I mean, that's the cool part about El Grande Americano. But the thing is, no one's looking at him and saying, "Oh man, it's not working," because he's you put right here when I was talking before about Kaiser. No one's saying, "Hey man, this isn't working. This isn't working because it's Ludwig Kaiser." No, man, this ain't working. So, I mean, El Grande Americano himself is showing that what Triple H said was incorrect. People still want characters, man, because it works. Characters work. That's why we want to suspend disbelief, and that's the reason why we want wrestling proper, man. This philosophy ain't working. Purvis, what's up? What do you do to try to save wrestling because it's so bad right now? What do I do? Oh, man, give me the books. Give me the books. I will be doing B-rolls. I would be doing I would spend a lot of time, really spend a lot of time getting some good stories, making main event stars, not doing 50-50 crap, not doing any of that 50-50 crap, making people win, making heels go on just killing sprees, and building a baby face on the way. And to beat the heel and to get a reaction, to build a character. We want characters. We need characters, man. Not just a bunch of flip and kick wrestling matches that we see every single week, man. We're getting fatigued. We're getting burnt out. We're experiencing burnout from all these "this is awesome" matches every week. People get burned out, man. You don't get burned out by characters because, especially if you have layers and characters and you have different villains, you don't get tired of them, man. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. There's always a new villain ready for the hero. And that causes the hero to tap into something that he or she never really had to tap into. This hero is so magnanimous. This hero seems so insurmountable that I have to go dark in a sense. I have to tap into a part of you. That's the whole, that's where Shades of Grey should be. You're so much of a villain that I have to go dark. I have to tap into your maniacal ways for the greater good. Like, come on, man. There's so much meat on that bone of this saving character, this knight in shining armor, having this insurmountable foe that they have to strip themselves down temporarily and against their better judgment get into the deep, dark recesses of that part of their soul, that id part of their soul, to say, you know what, I'm going to dig deep in this part and I'm going to unleash the vault. And that person's still a baby face. That's the Shades of Grey. That's cool. And that gets us in it. But not everybody's good and everybody's bad. And we're trying to conform with the world to connect the fans. The fans are going to be there regardless, as far as the fan base you're dealing with now. The casual fan base don't want what you're saying. They're not eating what's on that plate. They're like, no, that's... Why am I paying for this meal right now if I can make this at home? You want to talk about reality? I can what? I can make this plate at home. I ain't paying for this. But if you give me different, if you give me something other than, oh, okay. I'm interested in what's on this plate because this isn't really something that I would make at home. Oh, okay. I can rock with that. And not only can I rock with it, I can tell other people about how good it is. That's what we should see here, Russell. Patreon.com/Pancakes and Powerslams. Patreon.com/Pancakes and Powerslams. Very short Patreon today. Come on with this, man. It's always Q&A. It's always fun. We're going to grade Triple H. I want the Patreons. I want the patrons graded Triple H. I want to hear from you. All right, on Patreon. What do you think? We're going to be real quick, but we're going to, man, action-packed. Always have a fun time there. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your Ricky Wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. So long.